Hello and welcome to today's reading. I hope you're all doing really well. If you haven't already, please do like and subscribe to my channel. It helps me out massively. And if anything resonates within this and you would like a personalised reading, my details are down in the description box. Just click on the title and it will take you straight there. So, what is today's reading all about? So, I work with some of the Norse gods, and one in particular was kind of screaming at me today. And weirdly, I've got this deck called Odin and the Nine Realms. Okay, so I was flicking through there thinking, like, what is this about today? What are we getting? And sometimes runes can come out of there, or one of the nine realms, or different aspects of the nine realms basically. And what came out was Odin himself, which I thought was very, very interesting. Now, if you don't know much about Odin, Odin is the god that hung from the world tree, and he gained the knowledge of the runes through that, and all the keys, the rune keys that open the nine realms. Now he, moves around the nine realms, and he will drop into Midgard, which is Earth, here, every now and then. And what he does there is observe humans. But this is what today is about. It's about the duality, because when he is observing humans, he's looking at, there's behaviours that sometimes appear good, sometimes appear bad. That's what we are, yeah? We're not one or the other, we are both. We have a duality. And this is what Odin is observing through the nine realms, okay? Or especially through Midgard, with the human realm, the realm of consciousness. So today, if you're watching this, you might be in a position where you are needing to take sides, or you feel like you're in a position where you need to pick a side. You need to pick good or bad, or you're seeing behaviour that appears like good or bad from people around you, or maybe even in yourself. And what Odin is talking about here is about be the observer instead. So it's choosing observation over judgment in the situation that you're in. So remember that. Pause and observe. Observe the situation. Be the observer, and that will give you the intuition then as to what your next move is, okay? No judgment. So this is about being in your center, sitting in your center. Sometimes we can panic about needing to make a decision, and then we can go make a hasty decision based on what we were thinking at the time, or information that we've had that may have been false. Now, for some of you, I feel like that's a key aspect, is perhaps you've had some information in the past that actually wasn't quite true, and you might be kicking yourself now for a decision that's been made based around this false truth. So what you're being asked here is, whatever situation that's going on for you at this time, is releasing the attachment to either side, okay? Release the attachment to that, especially if you're still confused about the situation, because it feels like you might be rooted in a particular belief or particular idea. And maybe you've been rooted in that for some time, but you're starting to feel like, actually, I don't think I believe that anymore. I don't feel like I really truly believe this anymore. And this might be that you've been told something about somebody else, or it might be just a religious thing. It could be anything, but you'll know what it is if that resonates with you. Okay, so you might be rooted in the idea of something that you no longer believe. Okay, so let's get into this. I'm going to pick your runes. Let's see what we have for you in terms of runes today. We have Rado, so there's movement. There is movement in your thought patterns. We have Bacano. This is a rebirth. You're definitely coming into a new way of thinking. And Nordis. So it's almost like you're releasing the restrictions and following your soul needs at this time, which might be new for you. That might be different for you to do that. Being the observer might be different for you, because you might normally be the one that's in the thick of making judgments. Maybe in your family situation or in your lifestyle generally, you're the one that people come to make a judgment. Maybe you normally get asked to make those judgments, and now you're sort of like, I'm just going to observe. I'm going to observe and then make an informed decision on what suits my soul needs. So, what area are we talking about here? Let's see what, all those months of the year, that's not going to give us the answer, is it? Let's see what area of your life we're actually talking about. We have that wealth card again. So this is about you kind of exploring what actually really makes me feel good. okay, and career. So for some of you, this is about doing something that really resonates with you truly on a soul level, rather than on a I need to make some money kind of level. So for some of you, it could be moving from being in an employed position to a self-employed position, and that can be scary, and you may feel pushed to make a decision, but right now it's just about that observation. So centering yourself. Okay, it's saying here, someone will gossip about all your secrets. I feel like somebody here made a choice or a decision, and maybe you have said something or done something behind somebody else's back, and the person that you said that to is holding that against you. What I'm feeling from this is that somebody's got some information on you that they know they can hold against you, and if they were to use that, it would really upset you and perhaps somebody else. That's like somebody having you over a barrel, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to do that different with these because they're just so annoying to... Okay, hand, in need of help, assistance and guidance. So you might need some help with this because it feels like you're trying to deal with this completely on your own. You might be feeling very isolated by this. You might be feeling like, you know, you're stuck. That's what Nord is kind of talking about on here as well, is like feeling that restriction, feeling like somebody is stopping you from really following your heart. But you will be victorious. You know, this will change. The energy of this will change by you centering yourself, not joining in the fight. Okay, now this is going to be very difficult for some of you because somebody is trying to hold you over a barrel here by the feel of it. And they're going to try and manipulate you into doing things for them, basically saying like, oh, well, if you don't, I'm gonna expose this, I'm gonna say this. Hold your own. Don't feed into it, because I'm feeling that that person actually doesn't really have the guts to go ahead and do that, because it will have repercussions for them and they know that. Guaranteed success, okay? There is success here. If you can allow yourself to stay centered, not get involved, observe rather than react, and not judge. It's very difficult, I know. And lobster, so there's a financial pinch attached to that. Now this could be that this person maybe has something over you on a financial level as well, and stepping away from the fight might actually mean that you lose something around this. But is that really the worst thing? You know, money can be made. Oh, rabbit, too much concern with sexual matters. Okay, so perhaps there's been some, I'm getting like, I hate saying these words, but like trauma bonding going on in a particular friendship or relationship or something like that, where you've kind of felt like there's been something on a level that's drawn you in and you're kicking yourself now over it, is what I feel. And it is attached to this. It's like a decision that's been made and you're heavily judging yourself over this. You know, really heavily judging yourself over, I feel like, sexual habits. So let's have a look further into that. Okay. So stop hurting yourself over this. Stop being so judgmental on yourself over this, okay? You've done what you've done in the past, and that's what it is. It is what it is, okay? Remember that. It is what it is. You don't need to beat yourself up over this anymore. Right now is a good time for you to, you're not burying your head in the sand with this, you're just detaching from it, okay? You're just not allowing yourself to stay attached to it. So in order to do that and to collapse this pattern, now is a good time for you to have a bit of carefree time, you know? Just go and have something light-hearted, go and enjoy yourself. That's what you're being asked to do, because things have got a little bit heavy over this. And it is just a temporary situation. This isn't going to be forever, okay? You might need to just step out of the arena with this particular person, with this particular situation, but just know it's going to be, it'll be over soon. It's not going to be forever, okay? How long has this been going on for? I feel like this has been going on since March. So think about a situation that you can think of that's maybe started around this sort of time, and I feel it's kind of, the energy or the adrenaline around this is kind of built and built, and you're starting to feel a bit like I'm trapped in this. I'm absolutely trapped. Okay, so but snowdrops, they are symbolic of hope and faith. Have faith that you are going to move through this, okay, through just observing the situation. Let that person get into their little whatever that is. Let them do that. They're going to expose themselves more than anything. Okay, yes, we've all got skeletons in our closets, we've all got things that we'd rather people didn't know, but somebody like this, they want to try and hold you in a place for control, but you're not going to allow that to happen. That's not going to happen, not on my watch. Okay, so let's get into the tarot with this then. So let's see the overall, what is this situation that's going on for you right now. So your current situation with this, okay, yeah, you're trying to get out of this. You're trying to release the past and move to calmer waters. This is a transitional time right now, and it feels messy, it feels difficult, but I feel like between March and this month, June, you're coming to the end of that transition now. You're actually almost freeing yourself, yeah? You've had a lot to deal with, you've had a lot to take on, but you are managing to move through that now. It's almost like the bags are packed, things are starting to move. I do feel you've still got dealings with this person, but it's not as impactful as maybe it was back in March, okay? There are some doubts, there are some struggles here of being able to move forward. I feel like that's more to do with yourself. That's the Judgment card in reverse. This is more, you know, whatever this person has over you, or the information that they've got there, whatever they're trying to do to stop you from moving forward, it worries you. I feel like it debilitates you, or it makes you judge yourself. But actually, in a way, they've kind of helped you to observe yourself and make the changes that you want to make. Okay, people have the ability to make changes. So do you have anything else? Yeah, you're following your intuition here. I do feel you may have had a recent dream or vision of your future, of something that you want to move towards, that's been quite profound and you can't shake. It's almost like it keeps replaying in your mind and you can't shake that, but it's been planted there to help you to see the way forward, because you needed a little bit of hope, you needed something to inspire you. And that's something to do with regret from the past. I feel like somebody made a hasty decision, and actually this came out yesterday, jumping from the pan into the fire. It's kind of like you thought you were doing the right thing at the time, but you kind of picked a side, and you've started to realise now, actually maybe I should have just separated myself. It's almost like two different paths, and instead of separating yourself from both and observing, how do I actually really feel about this, you just jumped into one. And I feel like there's perhaps some regret about that. Let's see, what is your challenge then at this time? Okay, challenge is pride. Pride. Okay, so the challenge is pride, and also, you know, being able to make a change, being able to offer something, to come forward as well. So I feel like there might be something about some planning going into this. There's definitely some planning for the future, planning for a change, planning for things to be different, to change. Okay, that's the challenge here, is how do I achieve that? Because I feel like sometimes your pride gets in the way of you being able to achieve this. Every time you kind of want to make a plan, want to change something, you kind of sometimes maybe not really learning the lessons from the past, and that kind of creates a bit of inability to move forward on here. So, you know, for that to be your challenge, that's quite a lot of information that's come through on there. So this could be a time right now where, you know, you're focusing heavily on things that you maybe would like to change but feel like you can't change. And if you want triumph, then you have to kind of move through this pride that is creating some stubborn energy. It's kind of stopping you from the forward. So let's see. But I do feel like you are starting to, especially through your subconscious here, you are starting to release those chains. You are starting to move through this. You know, you're allowing yourself to move through this. You're learning. What do you need to focus on right now? Okay, so focus is coming out as, you know, allow yourself to be inspired, to be enthusiastic about a particular union or friendship. So this could be, I know this is supposed to be about career, isn't it? It came out as career and wealth, but it feels a little bit more like this is to do with a relationship. So this could be somebody that you work with, or there's something around work, maybe you met through work with this person, but it feels like there's an energy of you maybe had two options and you chose one but felt like it was the wrong option, and in hindsight you wish you'd have observed for a bit longer. You wish you'd have maybe stepped out of the situation and just observed. Okay, it's like you feel like you've jumped from the frying pan into the fire, but there's a want to make amends to a particular friendship or relationship here. You know, there's a want to collaborate, to maybe bring a union back together. You're feeling quite, you know, you need to focus on the enthusiasm of that and the inspiration of that. So basically what this is telling you is that if you thought all was lost, I don't feel all is lost. You have the ability to change this, to make amends, to bring things back into balance. So that's what you need to focus on. What are you leaving behind? Because I feel like this whole process was necessary for you to understand a few things about yourself, to understand what needs to change within yourself so that you feel like you're not going to make those kind of decisions again. Okay. We're going to grab these. So leaving behind, we've got, I feel like it's lust actually. I feel like it's leaving behind something that you thought you manifested, but actually has caused you a lot of mental pain. It's kind of, you know, you've got to let go of this sort of, it feels like you're trying to chase something that you feel you've manifested, like lusting over a soulmate kind of connection. But you've become quite aware now. So you're letting go of this feeling of like, I've got to, you know, unveil everything and run out the door after everything that comes towards me. You do seem to have it feels like a pattern when it comes to relationships, and you've started to recognize that pattern now, and it's almost like you kind of manifested a lot of choices for yourself, but then all of those choices now you're just sort of like, I can't cope with this. I don't know, you've had a realization over that, like I can't deal with this anymore. So it's time to let that go. It's time to let go of all of those choices, okay? And just focusing on one thing. I think that's what you've learnt. Let's see, what is the future for you on this? What is the future of this? Okay, I've got the Eight of Wands, the future of this. So this is good news coming in quite quickly. So the situation that you've been in isn't going to be like that for much longer. And I would say by August, you will be plain sailing, as that Six of Swords is suggesting. It's not going to be long. It won't take you long. You will get there. There's a lot of clarity, a lot of truth coming out, but you can hold your own in that. Horsefly. You know, you're not going to be in this situation for too much longer, but in you being the observer, not joining in the fight, detaching yourself from outcomes for a start, and not being rooted in what you thought was the truth as well. Okay, So yeah, that's definitely where your energy is at the moment. But it's good. It's good stuff that's coming in. There's a conclusion coming to this, and it will be by August. Let's see what your advice is right now. Okay. We have the 9 of Wands. So the advice here is be kind to yourself, because you've been through a lot and you're still standing. You know, every time you hit a brick wall like this, you move through it. You manage to move forward. Okay, so don't be so hard on yourself, because a sudden change is on its way. Okay, be prepared for what's about to change, and it's changing because you've been inspired to work on yourself, focus on yourself. Have you got anything more to clarify that Tower? Let's clarify this Tower for you. Pins and needles. Let's clarify it. Okay. The Tower is clarified by the 4 of Wands. So this is about celebration, freedom. Okay. You are freeing yourself of something that's felt really restrictive since March. You're going to be free from it. And it's moving forward into a celebratory time, something very stable, something that's going to fill you up. Okay. Let's see what your hopes and fears are around this. Yeah, there's something about truth. So it's something about this. I feel like what this person's got over you coming out is what you are fearing at this time. But at the same time, in a weird kind of way, you want it to come out as well, because you've got your own truth to bring. And I feel like if this is bringing truth to a particular person, the way you're going about it is with integrity, okay? You're kind of, I feel like you're already scheming over this. You're already planning how you're going to do this, how you're going to say it, and what you're going to do. Now, for some of you, this might be truth coming for you, to you, okay, due to this situation, because you decided to observe rather than judge. So all we're saying here is just keep observing the situation. Don't worry about outcomes. Don't worry about anything like that. That's not what it's about. It's about observing the situation and creating balance within it, not being attached to any outcome or any side. Just balance. How does that feel for me? How does that work for me? That's in line with Nordi's, your soul needs, yeah? Does this work for me or does it not work for me? Do I trust this or do I not trust this? You know, have integrity for yourself. Have trust in yourself. Be truthful to yourself. So what are these? I'm going to put them back actually. Let's ask, what is your outcome here? What is your outcome? Well, that Temperance was definitely wanting to come out. It's come out twice now. Oh, okay. Actually, yeah, both those cards came out together. So the outcome here is about you releasing burden and having patience with yourself, okay? Being patient and, again, balancing it out without that outcome. And it's interesting here, we've got like the moon and the sun, and we've just had the solstice. So the sun is at its highest point, and the moon, the full moon as well. So we've just had this kind of time. So I feel like this is about you've come to the end of having to wait, okay? And now the purpose of that wait is going to start to be seen, come forward, because you've released a lot of burden over this. Now, the Knight of Wands, the Ten of Cups, and the King of Cups. So the outcome is you're moving into a space of inspiration and drive. You are following the beat of your own drum. You've recognized what ignites the passion within you and drives you forward. And you are moving into the Ten of Cups, which is a wish fulfillment. It's contentment, it's peace and harmony, and that's what you're looking for. And it's actually opening you up in an emotional sense, okay? The King of Cups, I feel like you kind of let go of a lot of addictions as well. You've let go of outcomes and attachments to things that aren't really serving you anymore. And that's allowed you to drop into your heart center. It's allowed you to understand love and support and what unconditional love really means. I love this. I think this is, you know, if you are stuck in that space at the moment where you feel like you made a decision and it was too hasty and you wish you hadn't, Odin is telling you here, you know, just observe the situation. Don't react, don't respond, don't let somebody hold you over the barrel. Choose observation over judgment, and this is what your outcome is going to be, okay? Now, if this resonates with you and you want to look into this deeper, please do get in touch for a personalised reading. My details are down in the description box. If you have any questions on this, I'll answer your questions, £10 per question. Drop me an email and we can sort that out for you. Have a blessed day.